Is it possible to make food packaging that is 100% renewable without sacrificing food safety? And how should the actors in the food packaging value chain collaborate to make this happen? These are some of the topics my colleague David now has the opportunity to talk to people at Tetra Pak and their longtime partner BillerudKorsnäs about. Over to David.
From greenhouse gas emissions to plastic waste and the use of finite resources, packaging needs to be rethought from the ground up. To discuss how we can do that, thanks to innovation, I'm joined by representatives from Tetra Pak and BillerudKorsnäs. Malin, could you just give us an introduction and tell us who you are and your role at BillerudKorsnäs?
Sure. My name is Malin Ljung Eiborn. I'm Head of Sustainability and Public Affairs at BillerudKorsnäs. And our company, BillerudKorsnäs, we are a provider of fiber-based packaging materials and solutions. And we are based in the Nordics, but we serve a global market.
And Eva, could you introduce yourself and your role at Tetra Pak?
Of course. My name is Eva Gustafsson, and my responsibility is materials and package in our development and engineering organization. And that tells, of course, that I'm very much in my day-to-day job involved in all the innovations we have to do around materials and around package for sustainability in the future. And that includes also the responsibility for the partnerships that we set up to manage to develop new solutions for sustainability.
Malin, so I know that BillerudKorsnäs says that its products have a climate positive effect. Could you just explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, I can do that. We did a climate report recently that showed us these results, which were quite new, and it's a perspective that the industry hasn't taken before, really. What we did was we looked at the uptake of carbon dioxide, not only from the forest that we own, and deduced it with the emissions from our production, and then added the carbon that stays in the ground, basically, if you choose a paper packaging instead of a fossil one. And we used life cycle assessments to compare the materials, and then we got the result that if you use our production, our material instead, if our customers use it, then we have a positive climate effect of about 5.4 million ton carbon dioxide equivalents, which is equal to, for example, the entire steel industry emissions in Sweden.
So is it then that, to simplify, that the forests that are growing to make the paper itself take up more CO2 than the production itself produces in terms of CO2?
Yes, absolutely. The bigger part of our impact is the packaging itself, yes. Mm.
So now, to start off looking a bit at the context here, what would you say are the main challenges facing the packaging industry today?
Well, I think there are two very heavy themes at the moment in the world in general, which are affecting us immediately. And one is climate, the climate change, and the other one is circular economy and the need to make sure that the materials we as consumers and industry put on the market is properly recycled and reused in the best resource efficient way.
To what extent is it consumers who are driving this? What are consumers demanding today?
I think that consumers are demanding sustainability in general. They have climate high on the agenda, but also we see that packaging is moving up on their agenda. But it's a bit difficult for consumers to know exactly how to make the good choices and what are the right choices. So we have, in our value chain, we have to work together, of course, to help the consumer make the good choices. But we see that there is an inclination among consumers to make better choices and to choose paper over plastics, for example.
So Eva, what are the benefits of carton packages from a sustainability point of view?
Yes, let's take a look at the Tetra Pak packages and the packages we do for liquid food. They contain of board, around 70%, and aluminium foil and plastic. And one of the very important things is that we start with 70% of fibers. That is a good start. That's a renewable resource and recyclable resource as well. Then we have also plastic and aluminium foil in our packages, and that is for a very specific reason. That is to secure that we give a good food protection, a good protection to the food that we have in our package. Our promise is protect what's good, and protect food is part of that. And this construction of layers makes it possible for us to distribute food from one point to with quite a big distance in an efficient way and still have a good nutritional value when the food reaches the consumers.
So it helps protect against food waste?
Yes, I would say yes, it does, because it really secures that the food stays good and you have all the nutritional values. You don't have anything in the package that you don't want to have there, and what the consumer gets is a food product with good quality.
And then, so what are the challenges then from a sustainability perspective? How can you make the packages more sustainable?
Yeah, what we want to do and what is the ambition that we have in the future is to secure that we have more fiber in the package. So we have this 70% as a very good start, but we also want to transfer the aluminium foil and also in the future also the plastic layers to something that comes from fibers. So that is what we intend to do, and that's where we need a lot of innovation to find these new materials.
So BillerudKorsnäs and Tetra Pak are collaborating in order to solve these kind of challenges. From BillerudKorsnäs perspective, what is the value in doing this kind of collaboration together rather than doing it on your own?
Well, I would say that doing innovation in partnerships is how we do innovation in general at BillerudKorsnäs. And since we are in the back end of the value chain, we also need the partnerships with our customers and customers to make sure that we deliver the material that is really wanted at the end of the value chain for the consumer.
So Eva, from Tetra Pak's perspective, how important are these kind of collaborations when it comes to innovation?
In general, of course, collaboration is very important, but this collaboration that we have started around sustainability is even more important than in the past, because all the actors in the value chain of packaging, we have to act together to secure that we can transform the industry. And there are so many challenges, so much innovation to do, and so many changes to do, that it is important that we really secure that we find all the knowledge and that we utilize our competencies and our knowledge so that 1 + 1 becomes 3 and not 1 + 1 becomes 2. So I think, yes, partnership is it's very important. But in this case, it's absolutely vital. Otherwise, we will not succeed.
Would you agree? Is there something in the nature of the challenges that means that you have to collaborate? Is it because it's bigger problems that you can't solve on your own?
Yes, definitely. And I mean, I work with sustainability, and these are the main challenges that we talk about every day. And the only way that we actually can solve them is to do it together. It's absolutely so, yeah.
So how does this collaboration work in practice?
We are working very, very tight. We have set up, it started actually with us, the two of us looking into what we think are the priorities for the carton packaging industry when it comes to innovation. And we could see that, yes, we were really coming together in certain areas where we thought that we had competence from both sides that could then contribute to good innovations. So that's how it started. And now we work with as one team, I would say. So we have defined projects where we have teams that are working together. So we have people from both organizations into one team. We have a steering group, which is joint steering group between the two companies. And we also work with continuous follow-up to see that the plans are one plan, and we follow up on those plans together. So we work very much as one project team in this.
And so what is it that you both bring to the table? I mean, from your perspective, what is BillerudKorsnäs involvement in these kind of projects?
I mean, our part of the Tetra Pak packages is of course the carton part, and this is where we need to improve the most, of course. This is where we have our expertise and where we can bring the most to the table, I would say, to make sure that the properties of our material are as good as possible to meet the challenges of our customers. So that's our part, definitely.